Jesus is sending you a sign of blessing today. Receive with faith. Folded hands sparkles. Have you ever felt like you're carrying a huge weight, looking up at the sky and wondering if your prayers are being heard? Sometimes life challenges us so much that we get the impression that God is silent. But pay attention, today is not just any day. This moment is special because Jesus is sending you a sign. A sign that He is by your side, that He has heard your every word and is preparing something wonderful for you. Believe me, you are not here by chance. God works in ways we often don't understand, but everything has a purpose. These words you are reading now are more than phrases on a screen. They are a direct reminder from the heart of Jesus to yours. He is saying, I see you. I know your pain. And I am bringing you the answer you long for. The love that never fails. The truth is that Jesus' love for you is greater than any mountain you are facing. No matter how big the problem is or how far you feel you are from God, He never abandons you. He is always working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. Today, as you take a deep breath and reflect, know that He is inviting you to surrender everything to Him, your worries, your anxieties, your fears. Jesus wants to give you rest. He wants to transform chaos into peace, pain into joy, and uncertainty into renewed faith. The little signs. Signs of Jesus do not always arrive with thunder or grandiose miracles. They often appear in the simplest details. Maybe it's a feeling of tranquility that appears suddenly, a word of comfort from someone close to you, or even this text that crossed your path today. Have you ever stopped to think how many times God has spoken to you in subtle but powerful ways? When did you see a door open unexpectedly, or when something went right at the exact moment you needed it most? These are signs. Little messages from heaven that say, I'm watching over you. The promise of blessing. Jesus never promises something He cannot fulfill. He says in the Bible, Come to me, all you who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11 verse 28. This promise is for you. Jesus doesn't want you to carry everything alone. He wants to share the weight, walk alongside you and show you that there is a purpose in each step of your journey. Today, He is calling you to believe. Even if circumstances seem difficult, even if the winds of life are strong, Jesus is the anchor that keeps your soul safe. Receive with faith. But how to receive the blessing He is sending? The answer is simple, with faith. Faith doesn't mean you need to have all the answers. It doesn't mean you never doubt or fear. Faith is simply trusting that God is bigger than any challenge, bigger than any mountain you need to climb. Say it right now, silently or out loud, I receive, Lord. I trust you. Even though I don't see it now, I know you are at work in my life. These words have power. When you declare your faith, you make room for the miracle to happen. Testimonies that inspire. Emma's story is an example of how Jesus sends signs even in the darkest moments. Emma was facing a difficult diagnosis, and doctors didn't have much hope. But she decided to trust God. One night of prayer, she asked for a sign. The next day, when she opened the window of her house, she saw a bird land on her balcony. It may seem simple, but for her, it was confirmation that God was listening. Emma held onto her faith and, weeks later, received news that her treatment was working better than expected. Like Emma, you too can experience God's care in ways beyond your understanding. This is your moment. Jesus is here, now, calling you to believe. No matter what you are facing, He is already ahead, preparing the way for you. He sees what you don't see, and knows what you don't know. Trust Him. The sign you asked for is coming. Maybe you've already received it and didn't realize it. Open your heart, open your eyes, and let Jesus act. He is sending you a sign of blessing today, and all you have to do is receive it with faith. Jesus does not make empty promises. He is faithful in every detail, in every plan drawn up for your life. You may not even understand what is happening now, but know that God's ways are greater and higher than ours. Believe, nothing is by chance. Every tear you shed was seen by Him. Every prayer, even those whispered in the midst of despair, was heard. And today, at this very moment, He is bringing a clear message to your heart: trust in me. I am the one who cares for you. The battle is already won. Maybe you are facing a battle that seems impossible. It could be a financial difficulty, an illness, a complicated relationship, or even the feeling of emptiness that insists on accompanying you. But remember, no battle is too big for Jesus. He has already conquered everything on the cross. You are not alone on this battlefield. Jesus is fighting for you, even if you don't see it. He is protecting you, guiding you, and removing obstacles that could hurt you. What you need to do is trust that victory is guaranteed. Sometimes the greatest victory is not seeing the situation change immediately, but feeling peace in the midst of the storm. And this peace is the clearest sign that Jesus is with you. Open your heart to the miracle. Miracles happen when we open our hearts. Often, we are so worried about what is wrong that we fail to notice what God is already doing. Stop for a moment and reflect. What has He done for you so far? How many times have you thought you couldn't do it and yet you overcame it? This is living proof of Jesus' care. Now, He is asking you to take one more step. It's not about understanding everything, but about trusting. A miracle can start with something small: an idea, an opportunity, a word. Don't disregard small beginnings, because they carry the potential for great transformations. A story of overcoming. Lucas was a man who had lost almost everything: his job, his home, and even his hope. He felt like he was in an endless desert, surrounded by problems and with no way out. One day, while walking through town, he passed a church and heard someone say, "Jesus never leaves you. He is working His miracle." Lucas felt something move inside him. He couldn't explain it, but he decided to enter the church and ask God to speak to him. That same day, Lucas received a call with a job offer. It was something simple, but enough to start over. He knew that was the sign of Jesus. From that moment on, his life began to change, and today he tells his story to inspire others to trust in God. Just like Lucas, you are also being prepared for a fresh start. Let God's love transform you. Jesus is calling you to something greater. He doesn't just want to solve your problems, He wants to transform your life. It wants to give you a purpose, a joy that goes beyond your circumstances. You just need to say yes to His call. Saying yes means believing, even when it doesn't make sense. It means surrendering, even when fear tries to dominate. Because where there is faith, there are no limits to what God can do. Today is the day to open your heart. It doesn't matter what you have experienced so far, what matters is what Jesus is doing now. And He is doing something new, something beautiful, something that will bring light into your life. Trust. Wait. Receive. Your blessing is already on its way. When you decide to trust Jesus, something powerful happens. It is as if the weight of the world begins to dissolve, and a new strength, which comes directly from God, begins to fill the void. That's what faith is, an act of surrender, a leap into the unknown, but with the certainty that there is a divine hand to hold you. The hope that transforms. Have you ever noticed how hope is capable of changing our view of things? Even in difficult times, hope gives us strength to continue. But true hope doesn't come from what we see or what we can do, it comes from Jesus. He is the inexhaustible source of strength, peace, and renewal. Jesus doesn't just want you to survive, He wants you to live fully. He created you with a purpose, And every difficulty you face is part of a process that prepares you for something greater. What appears to be an end is now actually a new beginning. The paths God opens. Imagine for a moment a blocked road. You are stuck, not knowing how to move forward. But suddenly, an invisible hand removes the obstacle, and a new path reveals itself. This is how God works. He opens doors that no one can close, and closes those that are not for your good. If today you feel like you are facing an insurmountable barrier, remember, God is already preparing the way. Maybe He won't show you everything right now, but trust that He is guiding each step. The Word of God says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge the Lord in all your ways, and He will make your path straight." Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. You don't need to understand everything, just trust. The power of active faith. Receiving the sign from Jesus does not just mean waiting. It means acting out of trust that He is in control. Blessing often begins when we take the first step. It can be something simple, like looking for an opportunity, offering help to someone, or even starting over in areas of life that seemed lost. When you act with faith, you make room for God to move mountains in your life. And don't underestimate the impact of this. A decision made with faith can change everything. You are part of the plan. One of the most beautiful truths about Jesus is that He sees us as unique and special. No matter what the world says or what you think about yourself, you are important to God. He chose you, called you by name, and has an exclusive plan for your life. This plan is not just about receiving blessings, but also about being a blessing. You may not realize it now, but the struggles you face today can turn into a powerful testimony that will inspire others in the future. The testimony of victory is coming. Paula, a woman who lost everything in an accident, felt at rock bottom. Without strength, she asked God to show her a sign, something that would give her hope to continue. Days later, while walking through the park, he met a lady who told him, "God asked me to tell you that He still has great plans for you." These words were enough to rekindle the flame of faith in Paula. She began to seek God with all her heart and saw doors open where before there was only darkness. Today, Paula helps other people who are going through difficulties, showing that the love of Jesus is capable of transforming any story. And just as Paula found a sign, so can you. Prepare for the unexpected. The sign of Jesus can come in many forms. Maybe He is already sending something to your heart right now, a feeling of peace, an idea that arises, or even a memory that makes you believe again. Receive with faith. Believe that He is at work, even when you can't see it. What's coming is bigger than you imagine. God has control of everything, and your victory is closer than you think. It all starts with a simple yes to Jesus. Open your heart and say, "I receive, Lord. I trust in you." This is the first step to living the fullness of what God has in store for you. Jesus never leaves a work incomplete. He brought you here to remind you of something essential. You are loved, chosen, and there is a promise of victory over your life. The sign you have been waiting for is already being revealed. He is telling you to move forward in faith, because the road He is preparing is one of peace, prosperity, and purpose. Every difficult moment you have faced has only been a preparation for what is to come. Now is the time to release the weight you have been carrying, surrender your fears to Jesus, and make room for Him to work miracles in your life. Believe, what Jesus has in store for you is greater than anything you can imagine. Trust. Receive it with joy and declare, with a heart full of hope, "I believe, Lord, that your blessings are coming to me." If this message touched your heart, be sure to share it with other people so that they also receive this sign from Jesus. Subscribe to the channel, like this content, comment on what touched you most, share with your friends and family, and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any inspirational messages. Also watch one of the videos recommended above. They may be just what you need to strengthen your faith even further. May God bless you abundantly, and may the peace of Christ fill your heart.